Yeah, we're live. Woohoo. So my name is Michelle Hart, and I am a clinical nutritionist, and I've been in the game for about 22 years. And I have my sidekick here now, Reese Hart.
You bet.
And so Reese has been in the health and fitness space for how long?
Oh my gosh. About 40 years, I guess.
40 years.
Yeah.
So he's seen a lot, what works, what doesn't work, all the trends, all that kind of thing. So he's going to chime in with his information. But today we're really going to talk about anxiety. So we're going to really do a deeper dive into this subject. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen and get started with the presentation. Okay. Okay, so today the topic is 7 things your anxiety is trying to tell you, right? So what you're going to learn today are 3 major things. The first thing is what anxiety truly is. The second thing is why you have it. And the third thing is, of course, the solution, how to overcome it so you can be more of who you really are and really start to enjoy life again. I do like to start with, that's funny. It didn't quite format properly. Anyways, that's hilarious. I want to start with this Chloe's story. Okay, so if you're somebody who is experiencing anxiety and you're losing hope and you are becoming more fearful because what you're doing maybe isn't working or things are falling off the rails. Well, I want you to know that there's a lot of hope. Okay, and a lot of people, when they do the right things, they can actually feel good again and have peace of mind. So one example, just one, would be Chloe. So Chloe came to me last year and she came to me with a lot of anxiety. Chloe came to me feeling very depressed and extremely tired. In fact, Chloe's story is on my YouTube channel. So you can actually have a look at her from the horse's mouth. She's basically telling you where she went and where she is now. And what happened was she was a mom. And she was extremely fatigued, but she wanted to be a good role model to her child. And she knew she needed to change things and fix something. And so what happened was, after working with me and learning the principles you're going to learn today, everything turned around for her. And it didn't even take that long. She'll share that with you in the story. 100% life turnaround. So now she's the mom who she wants to be. Her child is really, really happy because she gets her mom back, and she now is extremely excited about life. In fact, she's looking and feeling the best she's ever felt. So if she can do it, so can you. I have to let you know. So let's actually kind of do a deeper dive in what really is this thing called anxiety. Okay, we hear so much about it. In fact, more than ever. What I want to do is differentiate between, is it anxiety or is it actually just normal? Like, is this just a normal response because we are human and we have emotions, right? So let's really do a deeper dive. So what is really anxiety? Okay, the signs of an anxiety disorder are the following: frequent worry that interferes with daily life. This is frequent. Withdrawal from social life. This I see a lot of when clients come and that they're just not confident enough to get out their door and be with other people, or they're so afraid of having their next panic attack. Okay, or they're actually afraid of everyday things, right? Irrational fear, or out of the blue. And I've heard this before with other clients. They'll be driving and all of a sudden they have like this panic attack and they have to go to the side of the road and let it pass. That's scary, right? And the last one is reoccurring nightmares or these flashbacks or numbing previous trauma. Okay, so that actually is an anxiety, like a chronic anxiety issue that really, really needs to be looked at. But then let's look at kind of what normal is. Okay, so we know anxiety, it just kind of happens out of the blue. And again, you're afraid of being social, but normal worry is you're just nervous. And it's actually tied to something that you're nervous about. Like, for example, public speaking would be one. I think it's one of the most terrifying things that anybody would experience, they say anyways. And so maybe you're nervous about a public speaking event that you're speaking at. Maybe there's an upcoming deadline that you're really nervous about. Okay. Or some kind of an exam. Okay. That's normal worry, right? What happens is it's fleeting and it usually passes as soon as the challenge is over. Like you've done your public speaking, the test is over and your deadline is finished. Like, cool, that's right on. And it doesn't interfere with your daily life where you're not afraid to, you have the confidence actually to walk outside. So I do want to differentiate those two things. Really, really important. Okay.
Can I tell a little story?
I would love that. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, as Michelle had said earlier at the top of the game here, I've been in the health field actually longer than 40 years, but we'll say 40 years, traveling around to various health food stores in Canada and the United States. And what I observed was we'd go into for customer appreciation days, and there'd be 500 to 1,500 people coming into the store, depending on the size of the store, throughout the day. And I'd be in there for 8 hours, sometimes 10-hour day. And what I found was about 20 years ago, we'd be helping people with I'd be helping people with all kinds of different diseases and discomforts and pains and aches and so forth, depending on what their health condition was. So what I found out probably about 15, maybe even 20 years ago, is I started to hear rumblings of people coming in and saying, I have anxiety, or I know of somebody in my family that has anxiety. And then it started to get more and more and more frequent. So I'm just relating that story to let you know that you or somebody that you love or know isn't alone. It's out there and it's becoming more and more prevalent. And as we get into this a little bit more, we'll dive into why that is so that we can find a solution for you.
I love that. That's good. Thanks for chiming in, Reese. That's good. So yeah, and what we do is we don't like to be talking heads. We are going to stop the training and ask you guys some questions, some comments. So when these questions or comments come up, please post them so that we can answer them for everybody to learn. Remember, there's never a silly question ever, because if you have it, other people have it as well. Okay. So let's go back to the training. Okay. All right. Well, on that same subject, how common is anxiety? Well, it's actually very common. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, NIMH, around a whopping 30% of the US adult population, I know Canada is about the same, experience an anxiety disorder at some point in their lifetime. That's like every third person, okay? And moreover, 20%, that's every 5 people, have an anxiety disorder, have had it in the past year. That's a lot. So if you walk around, every 5th person has had an anxiety disorder in this just past year.
Yep. That's
a lot. Okay. I don't know about you, but I hear about this so often now. Okay. So I have a question for you. What are some of the triggers that you think cause anxiety or these panic attacks? What do you think? We'd love to hear. So this is where we want to bring you guys in and see what you guys think. What do you think is the trigger? Why are so many people having anxiety?
How do they let you know?
And Rona, you can pipe in if you want. So just write it in the comments. We'll see them here, and then I'll post it, and then we'll answer. So why do you think so many people are having more anxiety than ever before? What do you think the trigger is?
They're very stressed. They're under a lot of stresses.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rona is piping in saying they're under so much stress, more than ever before. Yeah, for sure. That's a trigger. Anything else? Maybe you guys can think about that, and I'm actually going to go right to what it is, because there's 7 of them. There's actually probably more than 7, but these are the 7 primary ones, okay? So here we go. Before I get into that, though, I'm actually going to talk about the long-term effects of having this if it's not resolved. They're actually pretty severe, and they're very concerning. So according to the Harvard Health 2008 and the Mayo Clinic 2017, so this is pretty recent, okay? So what happens is if we have this anxiety and it's sitting and we're not dealing with it, long-term, we actually get chronic GI issues. And those would be things like Crohn's or colitis or diverticulitis. They may sound like these kind of funny words, but actually you're walking around with pain in the digestive system most of the day. So that basically how it kind of shows up is I eat and I have pain. Well, that's horrible. How would you like to be in pain all day, right? Or you're afraid of what to eat because you think that it's going to give you pain, or even in the bathroom half the day. That's not a really good way to live. And that's where long-term effects of anxiety can lead to. The other thing is heart disease. That is important to know, because you could all of a sudden you can just like have a stroke, be in the hospital. And if you've got kids or grandkids, people are relying on you, or even just you have this trip planned ahead or a partner, that could be very, very devastating for yourself and everyone else. The next thing is headaches. So these chronic headaches, and I don't know about you, but I've never had a migraine, but I've had clients that had anxiety. Long-term anxiety leads to these migraines, okay, where they're in bed most of the day, right? With the curtains closed and this chronic migraine, right? And I hear that it's not fun at all.
And it doesn't mean that you'll get all of these, but you could be one or any one or all of these, and how it affects you.
Good point. And the other thing is chronic sleep issues. So here you have this anxiety that you're experiencing. Maybe it's low level, maybe it's high level. There's different levels, and you just can't sleep. Well, how is that going to turn out over time? One thing is you're going to age very quickly, I have to say. You're going to look like you haven't slept. And that may affect your confidence. This is good. What's going to affect your confidence actually walking out the door. You have no energy to walk out the door, and you don't have the confidence to even, be with other people. So that's not good, because we're social beings, right? We're meant to be with people. And then the last one is depressive states. So that means you are feeling very low mood. I see this a lot in my practice. Depression. Most of my clients that come to me have some sort of depression, irritability, moodiness, low feeling, no confidence. This is pretty much common in my practice now, which we do fix, but really that's kind of what's going on here. So this really needs to be looked at. And the comments from the researchers from the Mayo Clinic said the main point is that continued experiences with anxiety and stress can cause issues that can affect us deeply, not just us, but our family members, our friends, our community. It's far reaching, okay? And this can be lifelong if not treated properly. So this is actually really important topic. And, the practice that we're in, we always go to, why is this happening? Like the root cause, okay? And we need to find out what's driving the anxiety. I know Rona was awesome. She, she commented that chronic stress, she's probably experiencing that maybe in Kelowna. She's seeing that perhaps. But she's seeing that there's this chronic stress that is driving all this anxiety. That's 1 out of 7 for sure. That's a good one. We're going to explore the 7 right now, okay? We're going to get right to the root cause. 7 things your anxiety is trying to tell you. Well, the first one is, believe it or not, your blood sugar's off. It can be as simple as blood sugar being off. And it's actually driving this emotion where you are in fight or flight. It's only because your blood sugar's off. So actually, that's kind of relieving, right? If you just knew that it was your blood sugar, and you could easily balance blood sugar. So easy. You guys will learn how. But then your anxiety goes away. Isn't that incredible? So blood sugar dysregulation. Okay, that's one. Okay, the second one is too much caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how often do you hear this? Or do you hear, oh, just take this medication, you have anxiety. But what about all the caffeine you're drinking? That's driving this anxiety. So yeah, you can take the medication, but if you're still having the caffeine, you're not really solving the problem. Your body's wearing out very quickly. And so are your emotions, right? And likely you're not showing up the way you want to. I mean, when you have anxiety, how are you around other people, right? How do you feel about yourself, right? What activities are you doing? How is your quality of life? And really, if you just, maybe it's too much caffeine. That's one thing to fix everything. How simple is that? Now we get into the third one, which is sleep deprivation. Okay, I'm not sure who's on the call right now, but if you are suffering from chronic sleep deprivation. This is likely what is driving the anxiety. So it's not the anxiety. The anxiety is the messenger. The real problem, the root cause is you actually need sleep. So your body is doing you a favor saying, I just need you to help me sleep. That's it. Simple as that. Okay. And you can, because this is what we do in our practice all the time. So number 4 of the 7 things that your anxiety is trying to tell you, number 4 is exactly what Rona shared, which was chronic stress. Absolutely. This stress, people are under more chronic stress than they've ever been, right? And it's affecting their mood, how they're showing up, and it's giving these panic attacks. So when we can practice things that will help to master your stress, because we all want stress because it gets us up and going and you're doing things, right? We want to have the right stress, but just not the chronic stress that causes anxiety, okay? So now we go into the 5th one. And I don't know if this is talked enough about, but really it's your hormones. Likely the hormones are unbalanced, in particular the thyroid. But really, we should look at the whole axis, which is the hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis. All right. So this is what's happening, in your body, and things are just not communicating properly. Right. And it starts with your brain. It starts with what's happening in the hypothalamus. Right. So you may be experiencing other symptoms like temperature dysregulation could be one, or maybe you have some extra weight that isn't coming off. Or maybe you have hot flashes because you're in menopause. Maybe those are the primary ones I would have to say with those areas there. Maybe you're just extremely fatigued, right? Mm-hmm. So it's really the hormones. It's the hormones governing everything. Okay, fix the hormones, fix the anxiety. Okay, so that's your body trying to talk to you. Number 6 of the 7 things your anxiety is trying to tell you. Okay, gut dysfunction. Now, clients that come to me, all of them have gut dysbiosis, every single one, because people that come to me want to get their health back. Well, you're only as healthy as your ability to break down your foods, use it as energy, and expel what it doesn't need. That is in your gut. The other thing about the gut is that's where a lot of your emotions, how you show up in a world, the neurotransmitters are made in your gut. 70% of your neurotransmitters are made. Did you know serotonin was made in your gut? Okay. That is your happy hormone. Did you actually know that melatonin is made in your gut? That is your sleep hormone, right? And then we have dopamine made in the gut. What is that? Get up and go, determination, go and conquer the world. That's dopamine. All of this is happening in your gut. If you don't experience good moods, it's because the gut needs help. Okay. So this is actually what's driving the anxiety is the gut and chronic inflammation. So that means that the body feels like it has an infection all the time. It's on red alert all the time. So then the energy goes to try and put the fire out, not to, do other things that you want to do, right? It's trying to actually keep you alive, right? Your body is absolutely incredible. It's a self-healing machine. All right. You just got to self-identify what's driving it. Let's go to number 7. So the 7 things that your anxiety is trying to tell you, the last one is micronutrient deficiencies. Okay. This kind of couples with the gut dysbiosis. And the reason for that is because you get your nutrition from your food primarily. Supplements are supplementing a good diet. So really, you want your diet to be perfect for you, not your neighbor, not your partner. You're different. No, for you. Okay. This is where a customized eating plan is so critical if you have anxiety, because what's happening is you likely aren't getting the building blocks to actually have healthy mood, or to have healthy nervous system, or to have healthy stress response. And I have to share, B12 would be for sure number 1. And when I did micronutrient testing back in Kelowna, every single micronutrient panel that I requested and got back, they were all low in B12. Okay. And this is intracellular B12, not from the blood work, but the intracellular where the function happens. Okay. So anyways, there are specific nutrients your body needs to be able to function properly. And just a few other ones that I see a lot of is magnesium. How many people are walking around not knowing that magnesium deficient? okay, this is what leads to this shakiness or this restless leg or this I can't sleep or this I have low energy, low magnesium. Okay. Selenium would be another, right? That's also coupled to cancer. Zinc is another. Zinc would be I can't even taste the flavor in my food, right? Or I'm always getting sick all the time, or I have skin issues. That's zinc. So just so you know, we need these nutrients and they need to come from our food. Okay. They need to come from our food, and then we need to be able to harvest these nutrients from our food. So you need a good digestive system for that. Okay. When you do, oh my gosh, everything turns around very, very quickly, I have to say. So we've just shared 7 like truth bombs to you. And
Yeah.
I would love to open up the lines to, what do you think that maybe your anxiety is telling you, or even your nervousness? Because maybe it's just nervousness, maybe it's just worry. But I'd love to see if there was any aha moments, because really this is all about opening up the pages to kind of really what's going on, instead of what, I don't know, instead of like, we're getting right to the guts of everything, right? To the guts. We're talking about digestive system. So here we have Tamara chiming in. News, we weren't able to see so much in the past.
That's true.
So yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so good. Tamara, I love that you brought that up. You want to comment on that, Reese?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of news out there, and we're seeing more and more of it due to the internet and all kinds of stuff coming at us all the time. So that's causing anxiety for a lot of people, not knowing what's going on, not having some answers to things. So yeah, very valid point.
Mm-hmm. Which is a good thing and a bad thing, because there's a lot of like things opening up now to really what's going on. I think that's great. But if you're watching news, too much news, you're going to be that too. So I always say, like, pick times to watch it, but then also do digital detox. So that means taking yourself away from that and go into, an area where you can have that peace again. But stay informed for sure. Hey, that's important. Okay, that's really good. Anyone else? I'm going to go back here. Anyone else have any other comments about, we just laid like 7, triggers to what anxiety is actually trying to tell you? Any aha moments? Any comments?
It's something we don't talk about too often. Maybe within families, sometimes I would hear a mom come in and say, my 2 younger children have anxiety. And so they would share about what that means to their family and how it's expressed in the family and what could they do about it. And it's really disturbing for a lot of people, but it's not something they share necessarily. I understand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Me too.
Kind of new to a lot of people.
Yeah. But we need to open up the conversation and just share and all get healthy together. Really, that's what this whole platform is about. There's no judgment at all. Oh my gosh. I was where I was. Now I'm healthiest I've been, but I did a lot of work on myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, and if anything comes up, feel free to share it in the comments. And if I can't see the comments, at least share it in the Facebook group so we can, reply back, or everyone else can kind of share there as well. I think that'd be great, because we're a community. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go back to the training. So now we're going to talk solutions. Ooh, yeah. Getting to the fun part. Okay. So here we are. Now we get to go with the solution. So 7 easy ways to get rid of anxiety. And the whole point is get your life back on track. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with number 1. Well, we need to balance our blood sugar. It could be as simple as that. How do you do that? Have more protein and fat. And if you're looking at the amount, that's something that you'd want to, explore yourself, or you can certainly reach out to us. We can help you with the amounts of protein and fat that'll be best for your body and your goals. But really, it's the protein and the fat that will stabilize the blood sugar that can just get rid of anxiety just like that. The second one is, caffeine. If you're having more than, 1 or 2 cups, or maybe you're actually even sensitive to caffeine, you may have a sensitivity to caffeine. So what about exploring maybe either reducing it or eliminating it altogether? Okay. And when I say reduce it, I mean like reduce it to 1 or 2 cups and have it before 10 a.m. That's kind of a really good starting point. or maybe just eliminating it on weekends. See how your body responds, because really your body is always giving you signs and symptoms. Oh, are you better because you don't have the caffeine? That's great. You don't have anxiety? Perfect. So you anchor that in, right? So there you go. Number 3, make quality sleep a priority. So listen, if you're not getting a good sleep, 6 out of 7 nights a week, well, it's going to have a
Detrimental effect on your body.
it will absolutely. You'll wake
and
up.
your mood.
Yeah, wake up. Just think of how good you feel when you do have a good sleep. Don't you feel like you've been at the spa? Don't you feel like you want to go do things? Maybe you're better with your partner. Maybe you have more patience with your kids. Maybe you have more patience with your grandkids. Maybe you want to go for an adventure, right? Isn't that fun? But then think of the times when you don't get a good sleep. How does your day go, right? Maybe you're overeating. Maybe you are grabbing too much of the caffeine, the sugar, and maybe you're not really living the life that you want to live. Okay. If it's the sleep, then you want to make sure that you get a good sleep. And this is exactly how we help our clients. It's one of the first things we do is get them sleeping well. So the 4th thing is, like Rona was talking about, was the the stress picture. So we've got to, you know what? You can master your stress. Stress is not all bad at all. In fact, we want good stress. It makes us feel alive. Hey?
Yeah, there's good stress and bad stress. And sometimes with stress and keeping busy, sometimes we keep too busy. And because of that, we either reduce the amount of sleep that we're getting, or we increase the amount of caffeine that we're taking in, and we use it as a tool to get more energy out of our body. And the same thing with our blood sugar. Sometimes we have low blood sugar and we'll go have a can of pop or a soda to increase that, or we might have something sugary, or we might have some white bread or rice or something that just feels good to raise our energy temporarily. Of course, we crash after that, and then that just sets up that cycle of up and down with our energy.
Yeah, that's really good. So I know as a woman, I know, and speaking with other women as well, especially mothers, we have a hard time saying no. I don't know if this relates to you, but we want to please everybody. Okay. Because don't we want everyone to be happy? Of course. Because when they're happy, you're happy, right? Of course. So we do everything we can to make everyone happy, but at the same time, it may be too much and we're not doing enough for ourselves. So we need to start to set our boundaries, because yes, you do matter too. It's a win-win. And I know for women, we need to actually turn this around, because we're the nurturers. That's good, but we take it too far and we forget about ourselves. But you are important. I just did an interview, and you're actually going to see it, with Pauline. Oh my gosh. So Pauline, she's a mom of 4, and she came to me extremely fatigued with a toe that started to have a lot of pain. And so she had 4 kids. And she's like, well, if I continue being this tired and my toe is getting worse, how am I going to enjoy my life? I can't even hardly walk anymore. And what she had realized was, you know what? First of all, she was saying yes to everybody, but not herself. And then her friend said, you know what? Say yes to yourself. And she did my program, and you'll see the transformation story, but it was absolutely amazing. And her message was, yes, you do matter. And sometimes also with the stress, maybe we say yes to too many obligations, like events. I know I really get in that trap. I do, because they're fun and we want to do it all. Like we're the rushing women syndrome, where we rush from one thing to the next, one event to the next. And we're like, we don't want to miss anything. I totally understand. That is so, I don't know if that's you, it's me. So I literally have to go, wait a minute. If I say yes to all these things, I know I'm going to have a wearing effect. I'm not going to feel good. And actually, I have priorities, and I know my priorities, and I stick with them. So it's really about that. If you guys need more help with that, we would love to help you with that for sure. So you're basically doing less time doing other things, but yes to yourself. Okay, so it's more of a balance. So now we're going to get into, actually, I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to go, we've got a few more to go through, but really, I'm just wondering, like, there must be some kind of aha moments or some comments or some breakthroughs maybe with what we've been sharing so far, that maybe you want you want to comment about, or maybe I can keep going. I'm just not really sure, but we'd sure love to hear kind of what's going around in your minds, and maybe you want to help offer something else in this topic.
Maybe they're just learning.
Maybe they're just learning.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, that's good too, for sure. Okay, well, I'll go back to the training then. We have, 3 more to go. Yeah. 3 more solutions. All right. Here we go. So we are on number 5 out of the 7 easy ways to get rid of anxiety and have your life back again. So we need to balance your hormones. So if you have imbalanced hormones, also if you are in menopause and you have hot flashes, if you have if you have extra weight around the belly or extra weight you're carrying around, that is to do with the hormones. They need to be balanced in order for you to, melt away the body fat and for you to have a healthy, response to other people's issues, right? To be able to communicate with other people properly. Maybe you have irregular periods. Maybe you're premenopause, right? And things are kind of shifting. Well, this can masquerade as an anxiety disorder, just the hormones, right? Because it's so hormone based. Or maybe it's an underlying thyroid issue that hasn't been established yet. That's super common too. So we highly recommend that you check it. Test, don't guess. And we have blood work that I'd be happy to send my recommended blood work so you get like a full panel, and then help you read the markers, because really that's what we can do for you as well. Yep. The 6th one is we need to fix your gut. Okay. And most people, their guts aren't working. So how do we do that? Well, we don't just start popping pills to fix the gut. No, we don't. We actually need to clean the gut of the toxicity. Okay. So this is the system that we follow: is we clean the gut, we heal the gut, and then we seal it so that you have proper digestion. That means that when you're eating your foods, you're actually absorbing those micronutrients, right, from your food. And then you're releasing what you don't need through your stool or your urine or your breath. That is a healthy digestive system. Not only that, you're going to have a healthy immune system. So when everyone's getting sick around you, you stay well, right? You stay well all the way through the wintertime because you have a good gut function, right? And then, of course, the neurotransmitters we talked about, they're made in your gut. So we clean the gut, we heal the gut, we seal it. Okay. And then along the way, you're going to want to find out which foods aren't good for you, like for your body, not your neighbor, but your body, right? Which are the foods that are actually driving this gut issue? Because there's something that's not working. And that's something you want to look at. And so then really start to eat a diet template or a nutritional template that's designed just for you, just for your biochemistry. Okay. And that's really empowering because this is where the energy comes in. Number 7, we want to identify your micronutrient deficiencies. And this we can do with blood work, okay? Again, common things are B12 deficiency. I see this all the time. And it is directly linked to anxiety, okay? And so just so you know, we don't want to just start popping B12. There's different types, different forms of B12, okay? And you really want to make sure you're taking the right one because actually there's one that causes anxiety. Mm-hmm. I learned this in my training when I was trained with micronutrient deficiencies by one of the doctors. And I always remember that. And so I always teach this with my clients, but you can't just pop supplements. There's different types of forms. Okay. And they all do different things. So you really need to know what you're doing. So I'm going to stop this before I get into the next slide. And I'm going to see if anyone has any comments or questions so far. So we have Tamara, she's chiming in. I love it when I sleep well, feels great. Yeah, awesome. I know. And you anchor that in for sure, because then you work towards protecting that sleep so that you feel good and it becomes a habit.
Do it all the time.
Yeah, I always do. Tamara knows. Any other comments, questions? Rona, you can chime in if you like. Anyone else here through the Facebook group, just start commenting. We'd love to hear what they are. Again, we'll get back to them after if I can't see them on the screen here. So it's great that you actually, chime those in. This is your chance, Q&A. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to finish the training. And You guys liking this so far? I'd love to hear a thumbs up or woohoo, this is great. Yeah, I'm learning a lot. Or oh my gosh, what a waste of time. Love to hear that. Love to hear some feedback. Okay, so we're going back to the training now. And so we've identified 7 easy ways to get rid of anxiety and have, peace of mind in the life that you're looking for. So here's my question back to you is, who do you want to be? See, you can reinvent yourself. And it's really taking a step back going, who do I want to be? Because really, maybe you're being somebody who's really not you, or maybe you're being somebody who you're told you should be. You should be this, you should be that. But who do you want to be? This actually takes deep work. It does. And Paulina, she was actually talking about this. It's good to uncover the rocks. See what's underneath, because you think it's scary. It's not. When you turn it over, it's actually not as scary as you think. But the first step is turning it over. What doesn't feel right? Okay, anxiety is a message. The worry is a message. These are all messages. Your body is trying to talk to you about something. We don't want to put that rock in a cave and just let it sit there. No, we want to uncover it and see what it truly is, because you are so perfect. You are so beautiful. You have such an amazing life ahead of you. All you need to do is grab it. But it starts with, what do I want? Who do I want to be? And for me, what I tell my clients is, here's how to start. Get outside in nature and just be with yourself. And listen to the messages that come. This is your intuition. This is your guide. They're talking to you. So it's our job to listen. And hey, if you want to chat, this is what we're here for. Hey, Reese?
Yep, absolutely.
So Chloe knew she wanted something better. And that's why actually her mom recommended that she comes to me. Chloe came to me, and within a very short time, she started to get her life back. And not only that, it's far reaching. Her daughter was better for it. Her husband was better for it. Her community was better for it. And now I know what she's doing. She's actually starting to make clothes. She's starting to use her natural talent of actually creating baby clothes. And she loves her life. She does this in farmers markets. But you know what? She wouldn't have wanted to do this if she was tired. She wouldn't have wanted to even think about it, because her brain would be too much fog, right? So you know what? You can live the life of your dreams. It just takes the first step. And, if you know of anyone who's really struggling, we can help them. Or, maybe yourself, you're still struggling. I don't know. But this is what we do, is we will help to get you unstuck so that you can actually live the life that of your dreams, because you can. And others have done it. So why can't you? It's one step at a time. So really, we have 9 steps to our program. The first step is what you actually learned today, which was the self-test assessment. We need to test and not guess. We need to stop spinning our wheels and really uncover what is really going on, instead of masking it with medication would be one, right?
Get that blood test, get that hormone test, find out where your markers are. And you can do it at any age. You can start at whatever age, find out where your baseline is, and then take it every so often after that, every 5 years or so, depending on your age.
And if you need help to read it, even to know what to ask for, even the languaging to your doctor or whatever,
just reach out.
And how we do that is just book a free call. Super is that. And so if this interests you at all, just, send a little comment below saying ready, and then we'll reach out to you and we can just start the conversation. It's actually that simple.
Yeah.
So we really want to thank you for being here today. And again, we are here. I got a thumbs up. That's great. I'm glad you're liking this. This is great. So every week we're going to be here. We're going to share. We're going to give you some free coaching on how you can, burn fat, build muscle, look and feel 10 years younger, and live the fit and healthy life.
We love helping you out. If you want any help at all, just reach out. We're here for you. It's simple. It's private conversation. You're not online.
Super simple. Yeah. We like to keep it simple. It's
easy peasy.
Keep fit and healthy simple. That's our tagline. So I want you to have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much for joining in. Again, please reach out if you have any questions. And it really just takes one quick step just to move forward. That's it. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day.